the difference, I can understand how people feel it, and I can understand how you wouldn't like it. For some people, living in a big city and not having those like small interactions with people could be something that they're missing.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to another episode of YQL Real Talk. And today I'm joined by my beautiful wife, Chelsea, who is an unlicensed assistant and I guess like marketing manager, director or something for Real Estate One. Guru. It's been a while since you've been on a podcast, so welcome back.
Thank you.
Today we're going to be talking about why you shouldn't move to Lethbridge. I
think that typically you and I are very positive people, so we're taking a different approach when we say you shouldn't move to Lethbridge, but not every place is going to be the perfect fit for somebody, and maybe some of these things are red flags for you and things that you find really important. So absolutely.
Let's get into it. So reason number one why you should move to Lethbridge is if you don't enjoy a slower pace of life. Now, we are a little bit more rural than other cities. Like Lethbridge is the third largest city in Alberta. We are a little bit slower paced. We're a little bit more, a little bit more country living when you're down here. I mean, you are in Alberta, first of all. When you get down to southern Alberta, it's pretty country out here. So it is going to be a little bit slower paced, like rather than going to a city like Calgary that has a lot of hustle and bustle.
Our biggest industry down here is agriculture, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think that in itself says everything. But when I was thinking about, this is like an often comment, people say, I'm so sick of that fast-paced lifestyle. What are things about a city that make it feel so fast-paced that Lethbridge doesn't have?
Well, population, first of all. So Lethbridge is just over 100,000, which is a small city, big town. That's how I always describe Lethbridge. It's a small city, big town. If you're looking at Calgary has literally 10 or maybe 11 times the population now. Like they're over 1 million. They might be at like 1.1 or 1.2 now.
Okay.
That's a significant difference.
Yeah.
Right? That's 10 times the amount of population. So there's more population. There's more traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Traffic is a big one. Literally in Lethbridge, there is no rush hour, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of a rush hour, but it's not like you can't compare it to any city at all. The worst thing that'll happen is if you're going across Whoop Up or one of the bridges in the winter, there's going to be an accident and you're going to have to take the highway. Not that big a deal. And it's going to take you, people complain. It's like, it took me 45 minutes to get home.
Because normal is 7 minutes.
Well, yeah. So I always say this, if you type in Google, the YMCA in Lethbridge to Costco, which is two opposite sides of the city, it's going to be 15 minutes.
Yeah.
On any given day. So that's literally one end of the city to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not going one end of the city to the other and you're just doing normal commutes, it's always under 10 minutes.
You're right. If traffic's being held up, it's because there's been like a severe incident. And again, I said that we're positive people. If it takes us 45 minutes to get home, whatever happened to somebody that's holding up traffic, their day's way worse than your 45-minute commute.
Well, yeah, but like I guess the point of this is what I'm saying is not to be rosy about everything. It's that your worst commute is 45 minutes when most people's like good commute is 45 minutes in a big city. Anything else that contributes to a slower pace of life out here?
I'm trying not to like twist all of these and turn them into a selling point, but I was in another small town in Alberta recently, and I came from a small town and then I moved to Lethbridge, and moving to Lethbridge for me was moving to the big city. But then I went back to a smaller rural town, and the difference, I can understand how people feel it, and I can understand how you wouldn't like it. So I was in this small town, and people were driving so slow. Like happily 10 kilometers under the speed limit, and that was normal across the board. I went to pick up a jug of milk in the grocery store, and the lady talked to me for 10 minutes about glasses, and I'm just like, I just want to get my milk and get out of here. And for some people, living in a big city and not having those like small interactions with people could be something that they're missing. Mm-hmm. For some people, they're like, I hate this.
I don't think you're going to get that
everybody
necessarily in Lethbridge.
I think that we would be somewhere in between.
Yep.
In between the two.
Yep. I have heard lots of people say that people in Alberta in general are nicer.
Yeah.
And then you come to Lethbridge is a little bit smaller. So that could be a thing. Who knows?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, those people in Calgary are so rude. Just kidding. Okay, reason number two why you shouldn't move to Lethbridge is if you do not enjoy the outdoors. So again, if you're comparing to Calgary, Edmonton, or a bigger city like that, they do have lots of events and, you know, concerts, and all the big concerts go to Calgary. We do get a lot of concerts here, but if there's something that has like Taylor Swift's not coming to Lethbridge. You know what I mean? She's going to go to Calgary, Edmonton. She's not coming to Lethbridge.
She's not even going to do that, for the record. So.
Yeah, true. That is true,
Toronto,
actually.
That's a priority.
Yeah, it's not to say we don't get concerts, but those big, grand concerts, they're not coming to Lethbridge. So, like, I want to say that more of the indoor things are in Calgary, and we'll kind of get to that in another one. But all of the outdoor things are certainly reserved for Lethbridge. Am I wrong?
No, I think if you enjoy getting out in the outdoors and going camping and access to the mountains and access to fun outdoor activities, like, this place is for you. If you want to spend your days in the shopping malls and going to museums,
yep,
it's limited. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. So Lethbridge was actually voted the second greenest city in all of Canada. Not really sure what that means, but what it does mean is that we have 30 hectares of green space per 1,000 residents. So for every 1,000 residents, we have at least 30 hectares of green space, which is pretty crazy.
I don't know what a hectare is, but if there's 30 of them, I'm sure that's plenty.
Google it quickly. How many acres in a hectare or something? I don't know. But if you're just looking inside the city, like if you go to literally every community, everyone always asks me, what's the best community? Well, it's like, okay, so let's look at the north side of Black Wolf, Legacy, that sort of thing. Legacy Park over there is huge, and it has a skate park, a spray park, just a normal park, pickleball courts, basketball courts, tennis courts.
A skate park?
I said that already. No, I forgot what I was also going to say. Skate park, I said that. There's a pond to go walk around. There's walking trails. I'm pretty sure there's soccer nets and stuff. Like, it's huge. So that's great. It's on the north side. If you lived on the north side, it's walking distance. If you live on the west side and want to go to the park, freaking 15-minute drive. Yeah. So it's no big deal. But we're just talking about the outdoor stuff to do. So over there's a ton of stuff. If you're on the west side, there's Nicholas Sharon. It's got a big disc golf park. Disc golf's pretty big here. We played disc golf last year or the summer before or something for the first time. It was actually pretty fun.
I didn't realize that you need like different discs, and some are for like close-up scoring and some are for distance.
So there's that on the west side. On the south side, you got the Coolies. I don't know if there's anything else.
Well, Henderson
outdoor.
Lake.
Yes, Henderson Lake. There we go. So there's parks there.
The dragon boats happen there. So there's
dragon boats, Japanese gardens. There's trails to go all the way around. I always say that Henderson is like the central park of Lethbridge. It's gorgeous, big mature trees and everything. Big lake to walk around. So literally, and then the thing that cuts through the city is the Coolies. So it doesn't matter what side of town you're on, you literally always have access to the Coolies no matter where you are, and should definitely be taking advantage of them because they are pretty gorgeous. Did you find out how big 30 hectares is?
Yeah, it's just under 2.5 acres. No, so each hectare is 2.5 acres.
Yeah, so we have, almost 80 acres per 1,000 people.
That's insane.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then even like in Copperwood, for example, we're in Copperwood right now. You go at the end of the block, there's a pond. Go to the next block, there's a park. Go to the next block, there's a pond. Like every little community, I think they do a good job of putting enough park space and ponds out there to make it not so cookie cutter and just the average suburb.
Houses upon houses. Yeah.
So now we have all this outdoor stuff, but what's the weather like? That's a question I get a lot of the time. So in Lethbridge, we had 333 days of sunshine per year. So if you don't like sunshine, don't move to Lethbridge. If you like the gloomy, cloudy days, stay in Vancouver. And then, so that's just inside the city, but then also outside of the city, there's actually 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites within a 2.5-hour drive outside of Lethbridge. So again, talking about all this.
5?
Yeah, all this outdoor stuff to do. So there's Writing on Stone, Waterton.
Head Smashed in Buffalo Jump.
Yep.
I don't know
I
what the
just
two other.
Geez, I just
Is
googled
it
them.
Dinosaur? Is
Dinosaur, yeah, 2.5 hours,
Okay.
and so that was 4.
I can't think of what the fifth is.
Head smashed in, Dinosaur, Waterton. Which one did we just say?
Dinosaur Provincial Park.
Oh, maybe there's 4 then. Glacier?
I'm not sure.
Was Glacier? Banff? Banff might be pushing it 3 hours. Okay, so there's 4 or 5. Banff's also really close too. Like it's 2-hour drive to Calgary, another hour to Banff. So I guess within 3 hours, there's 5. But there's more UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Alberta than like any other province in Canada, right?
That's cool.
Yeah. So again, just more outdoor stuff to do here within Lethbridge. In the winter, we drive less than an hour and we're in the mountains and we're going skiing. In the summer, still go to the mountains. There's lots of camping, lots of hikes and stuff to do out there as well.
Okay, we sugarcoated it enough. So what are the things when you compare it to Calgary that we genuinely don't have? Like not sugarcoating it anymore.
I wasn't sugarcoating it. Those were the pros. If you don't like the outdoors, don't move to Lethbridge. There's all the things. What we don't have is, we kind of mentioned before, is indoor things. Mm-hmm. So big conferences and big events, we don't really have those, although the new Agri-Food Hub just got built. So at the exhibition grounds, it's a gorgeous place. So I don't know, maybe we'll get more stuff. But like the TELUS Spark Center, for example, is in Calgary. Mm-hmm. Big, huge indoor attraction. We don't have the zoo, just indoor, outdoor type of thing. We don't have a lot of museums out here. We got a mall. We don't have like Chinook Mall or Cross Iron or any of those big malls, like those big indoor things. It's just, we just don't have them, right?
But in reality, again, devil's avocado over here.
What?
Devil's advocate. How many times a year would you go to the zoo even if you were living in Calgary? How many times do you think people go?
Well, I don't know about the zoo, but there's like
TELUS Spark, or like how many times?
Well,
like
if you go down like Stephen Ave, there's all that shopping and stuff. So there's more shopping.
Shopping, I understand, but
if you want to spend your money, go to Calgary.
Some of these larger attractions, I think you'd only visit them a couple times a year anyhow. In which case, the drive to Calgary isn't so bad. But shopping is one that I will concede. Yeah,
and like I guess like all this stuff comes with, there is a bigger food scene because it is 10 times the population. Like it's not that Lethbridge doesn't have a food scene. It's just there's going to be more robust things out in Calgary. It's also way more expensive. Next one. Okay, so the number 3 reason why you should not move to Lethbridge is if nightlife is important to you. So Lethbridge, not going to lie, doesn't have a big nightlife scene. I don't know. There's a few clubs and bars and things to go to, and there's some cool ones to see, but you're not going to go like bar hopping and go to like, I feel like if you're in Calgary, Edmonton, you could probably not actually. If you're going out to like the club, it's not like you're going to go see a different club every night. You're probably going to find your 2 or 3 clubs that you like, and that's about it.
The atmosphere of.
But
the way I've found as like a late 20s, early 30s person that in Lethbridge, the nightlife scene, I haven't really found a place the way that we found a ton of places that we liked in Toronto and stuff like that. These like more like boutique, have a couple cocktails.
Queen Street.
Yes, we absolutely love that. Where in Lethbridge, we get that influx of university population, and these are the people coming in that are freshly 18, young and vibrant, and there's a few nightclubs dedicated to them, or there's like your older scene of people that are in the sports bars, but there hasn't been that like hip, trendy, have a couple cocktails place for like the late 20s, early 30s. I also think that the way that like younger generations enjoy nightlife is completely different, and we're seeing the shift where places like Blanco is primarily a restaurant, but then on the weekends they turn it into, after 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. they turn it into that more of a club, bar, dance kind of atmosphere. So I think that Lethbridge is getting better with their nightlife, but
well, there's a couple of good places that we like to go. Bourbon Butter is one. Got good cocktails there and stuff. Where else do we go for cocktails?
Well, Blanco.
Yeah.
Just because you don't like tequila doesn't mean that.
Yeah, I'm not a big tequila guy.
That their
But-
cocktails aren't good. Their cocktails are good.
But yeah, there's just the nightlife scene really isn't here. But there's a good couple places that we have found recently, like Good Times. We went there just the other weekend for the first time. It's a comedy club here in Lethbridge.
You were skeptical.
I was like, how good can a Lethbridge? I shouldn't be saying this. How good could a Lethbridge comedian be? And we went for the first time, and it was absolutely hilarious.
It was so good.
I definitely want to go again for sure.
He was crying. He was laughing so hard.
Absolutely. I was
loved
very
every second
impressed,
of it.
and I will definitely be back. And if I can recommend that place to anybody, I definitely will. So if you're ever looking for something to do, I would highly recommend Good Times. Right around the corner from Good Times. So the downtown area of Lethbridge is actually starting to pick up again. So right around the corner from Good Times is Festival Square, and it's, if you're driving through downtown, you'll see like there's like a big string of lights that has Festival Square written on it, and right below that there's a outdoor stage. And from what I understand, I think anybody can book it, and it's free to book. So literally anybody, if there's a band, if there's a DJ, whatever, they can book it for free and just go and play outdoors, or you can book it for an event. I think you did roller skating there one day, right? So that's pretty cool. And it's really starting to, and the other thing that they did downtown is that I don't know why it took them so long, but they finally approved on-street dining. So every restaurant down there can have an outdoor patio so that people can go to the restaurant, they can expand their seating outside, and you can go outside and eat, which I think is awesome. And the businesses down there seem to be thriving and growing, and we're getting more businesses down there, which is awesome. So it's becoming a little scene down there, which I think is cool.
Yeah, lots of times we've gone place to place. We'll start having supper at Bourbon and Butter, and then we'll go to the Owl around the corner and see what live music they have going on or something, and see what's going on in Festival Square. And it felt like every weekend there was something going on at Festival Square. It was actually just really cool to be downtown, and you've got 6 options all in like the same little area.
Absolutely. So reason number 4 why you shouldn't move to Lethbridge is if buying a house is important to you.
Isn't important to you.
Isn't, that's what I said. So one of the biggest pros of Lethbridge is cost of living, affordability, and with all this others, we don't have a big nightlife. It's a little bit slower pace. It seems to be like less stressful than other cities for some reason. I think a big part of that is because it's more affordable. So Lethbridge does have some of the most affordable real estate in all of Canada. So if buying a house is important to you, Lethbridge is a great place to be. If you're fine renting, you want to have the nightlife, you want to be, live in downtown Calgary, having everything accessible to you, then great. But if you're a family or you're looking to invest in yourself and in your home, I would say Lethbridge is probably one of the best places in Canada right now, just because of affordability.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else to contribute that. I think that Kurtis and I think a big part of where Kurtis and I are at in life in terms of our environment and financial situation is because we were in Lethbridge specifically. And I don't know if we would have had the same opportunities if we were in larger cities. So
Absolutely not. So Chelsea and I are very early 30s, and
Kurtis isn't even 30 yet.
we are very fortunate to have 2 rental properties plus our own house. In literally, like, I got family that still is out in BC. If we were buying a house right now, I don't know how we would afford to. I don't think we could. I think we would be renting forever, right?
Yeah.
So with these 2 rental properties plus our own house, give it 25 years. So when we're in our 50s or 60s, we're going to have all these houses paid off, and there's our retirement fund right there. And it just literally would not be possible in so many other cities. So if any of these things are not important to you, then Lethbridge probably is the place to be. And if any things are important to you, then maybe you should be considering other places. But if affordability, a slower pace of life, and affordability, slower pace of life.
If you like getting outdoors,
then Lethbridge could be the perfect place for you. So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave them down in the comments. And if you guys liked this video or podcast, whatever you're listening on, please subscribe, because we're posting weekly videos on my YouTube channel. I post home tours, podcasts just like this, as well as other informative videos about Lethbridge. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
bye.
Bye.